Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled death. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name.
What's up, everybody? Hey, it is time. It is that time for the Big C, Bigger T podcast. And I'm your boy, Bigger T, coming at you in real audio, real video, in real podcast form, in not real time, probably. But anyway, how you doing out there, world? I hope you're having a great week. It is January 17th, according to my computer, and I am here with my man, Big C, Clint Clark.
You know what?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, and everything you just said checks out.
It does?
Does. Hey, and by the way, I know there's been a lot of conversations had on our Marco Polo group that we have amongst myself, you, the Wesley. I don't get it. I got to address it on the podcast, so we're listening here. Wesley, he's almost a character on this show.
Almost, yeah.
Almost a character on the show. He's a friend of the show.
Him and Robert both, yeah.
Him and Robert, both friends of the show. Robert, hometown
goes over your shoulder there.
Hometown roofing.
Hometown roofing. We believe in it.
Great guys. They're great. Did my roof, fantastic job. Give them a call. But I don't think, we've known Wesley since how old? Since seventh grade?
Yeah, seventh grade. He moved to Greenbrier. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, when he moved in seventh grade, he had a really bad mustache.
Yeah, but it was, at least he could get something going up there.
I know, for a seventh grader, phenomenal mustache.
Yeah.
As a 46-year-old man looking back, shave that thing off. But you get my point.
Yeah.
I think Marco Polo'd us yesterday. The first time in over 30 years, I think I've ever seen the man without facial hair.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is.
Yeah. Once you said something, it was disturbing.
Yeah, I said something. I'm like, are we not good? It's like one of them deals. Like, I can't not address this.
It sort of reminded me of when I was a little kid, and my dad always had a beard.
Yeah.
And then he shaved it one time. And I was about 6 years old or something.
Right.
Or 5 years old, something like that. And he came out of the bathroom after shaving it off. And I almost ran out of the house. Because I thought there's a stranger in my house. Anyway, that was.
Well, I felt the same way the first time I saw my granddad without teeth in.
I'll tell you even worse. I'll tell you one worse.
Okay, go ahead.
Remember Carl Roebuck?
I remember Carl Roebuck.
Okay. Our church used to have these nights where we'd rent one of the Conway gyms and go play basketball, right?
Right.
So we would go down there, and one night, and I was in high school. I just started driving or whatever. And so, we had rented like a Friday night or something. We'd rented the gym, and all the men of the church would come down there and we'd go play basketball. And so I showed up, and I'm out there, and I'm just walking in the gym, everybody's saying hi to me. You know how it is when you just walk in, everything. And all of a sudden somebody grabs me and bear hugs me. And I turn around, and I didn't recognize the person. It was Carl Roebuck without his toupee. I didn't know he wore a toupee. It scared me to death. I was a high school kid, and I was scared to death. I was like, who is this strange bald man attacking me? I didn't know he wore a toupee. I was ignorant, I guess. I was non-judgmental of his hair, but apparently he had a good one because I didn't notice.
Yeah. Tom Clark never had facial hair really. He had a mustache for like he tried a beard, but it's more like just I grew it. I don't like it. So literally, probably my entire time I known him, maybe a month out of that.
Yeah.
26 years have I seen the man with facial hair. But
Yeah.
now he did have them sweet mutton chops back in the day.
Mutton chops. That's what I'm talking
Oh
about.
man, he now Tom Clark, he had him some pork chop. He had him some chops, man.
Yeah.
Chops.
Well, man, it's we got some sports stuff to talk about. But man, what a great podcast last week. Folks, if you haven't watched it,
Oh, great.
go back and watch it. Number 95, Kamani Johnson. We had a great time talking to him. Especially right now where you're kind of feeling down about the basketball team, maybe. If you want to feel up about them, if you want to feel good about them, go watch that podcast. You're going to feel good about them a little bit, okay? But anyway, first thing we need to do, besides talk about that, is Holy Shnikes moment for the week. And Clint, I think that's going to come from the playoffs last night.
Oh yeah, you know what? And what was funny is, you told me right before we started the podcast what the Holy Nike moment was going to be, and I completely brain farted on it. As I was sitting there going like, "What is it? Please don't pitch it to me to introduce. Please don't pitch it to me."
I'll introduce it for you.
There you go.
Because here's the deal.
Wow. Well, yeah. Now,
Here's the deal, Clint. I've been getting phone calls from the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
As you should.
And it's a guy, and I think it's Jerry Jones. And he's needing a kicker. He's needing someone who stood there and kicked an extra point, who can punch an extra point through. Now I gotta tell him, I didn't kick extra points when they were 35 yards.
No, you didn't.
So I don't know. And then it's been a long time. I just pulled a hammy telling you that. So, but yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are in need of a kicker, Clint. Did he miss what, 5 in a row? 4 in a row? 5 in a row?
5 in a row. I really think after 2, you should just go for 2.
Yeah, put the guy out of his misery.
Now, first off, and this is totally unrelated. Now, do you like the extra points being moved back to the 15-yard line? Yes or no?
Yeah, because there are a few more missed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes it a little more interesting, I guess. So yeah, I don't mind it.
Well, and the third one the guy missed was just bowling shoe ugly.
Yeah. I don't understand these kickers, though, kicking them from the hashes, the extra points. I mean,
I say that like I've ever kicked a field goal in my life. Like I've never kicked. I don't even think I've went out there and piddled around, playing around and kicked a field goal.
Well, and I was a straight on kicker, so that's maybe a little different than the soccer style guys. But I would just think, if you're doing something like kicking, I mean, it's just like, look, I don't know why he did it, but our buddy Oliver Miller, he used to line up his free throws, and he would line them. We need to ask him that sometime.
Yeah,
why he would line up kind of at an angle, if you remember. A free throw shooter, you'd think would line up just straight on, same way. But at least Oliver would do it the same way every time. But some of these kickers, they'll move around. They'll put, I don't get it. But Matt Maher, probably not going to be working next weekend. I'm guessing they got some guys in there that can at least put it through for the extra point. And I bet they have an emergency situation. They're going to find out if there's anyone else on that roster that can punch one through. Like the Chiefs had that guy that was it a D-back or receiver or something that could kick when their kicker got hurt, that he came in and kicked some for them. Just like Chad Ochocinco used to do, So anyway, but man, holy shnikes. All those misses of extra points in one game.
He's what he needs. He needs to get with Cheech Marin. He needs to give him the 10 cup treatment.
That's right.
Get whatever. I'm brain farting on the actress's name. Renee something.
Not I know what you're talking about though, but yeah,
get with him. Just get him hammered. Tell him he kicks better when he's drunk. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
He needs Cheech to fix him.
That's right.
I mean, just because he missed 5. He went 0 for 5.
Yeah, I think so. Was it 0 for 5 or 0 for 4? Whatever it was. It was bad.
I think you can see what McCarthy's like. Okay, it's an extra point. All he's got to do is make 1. He's off the schneid. And they're up pretty good, the entire time.
If they wasn't winning, they would have done something else, I think.
Yeah. He's just like, okay, let's see if he can get himself out of this.
Yeah.
It's one of them deals is quicksand, it's kind of like the movie The Replacements. It's like it's quicksand. Once you're in it, like it's hard to get out of it. And
now we got some sad news today.
We did.
In Razorback land. We'll take our hats off. Tusk V, R.I.P., buddy.
R.I.P., man. It's
served us well. He served us well. Tusk 6 is now going to be called into action.
Yeah.
He's going to be eating grapes and hanging out with famous people at pre-games and all that stuff. But Tusk V did pass away today. I think they kind of knew that was coming. They knew his days were kind of numbered. He was getting old, but they've had his bloodline ready. Tusk 6 is ready to go. But Clint, I have someone to blame for Tusk 5's demise.
You tell me who did that.
I'll tell you exactly who did it.
Tell me who did that.
And I'm angry. And I'm tired of it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm getting tired of it, Clint. I want to blame none other than Kendal Briles.
Oh no.
He keeps flirting with all these other schools. Okay. One time a year is fine to get your salary up.
I get it.
Jimmy
Don't
Sexton.
hate the player, hate the game.
Jimmy Sexton. But the third one this year, now all of a sudden we're worried about him going to TCU. I'm tired of it. Go to TCU, Kendall. See ya. Yeah, be a horn frog. I would rather you left when we could have kept Dow Loggins. But that's fine. Go. I'm tired of it. I think Tusk V was stressed out because he was tired. Is he going to go to South Carolina? No, he's not going to South Carolina. Or is he going to go to Mississippi State? No, he's not going to Mississippi State. Or is he going to go to TCU? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go to TCU. He sure likes Texas. He likes to live in Texas. Oh, no, he was at Baylor. They don't want him at TCU. Well, maybe they do. Maybe that was a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe he said if he go anywhere, he would go to Texas. Well, what's he going to be? Well, TCU was just in the national championship. What's he going to be? Where's he going to go? I don't know. I'm tired of it, Clint. We got NIL to worry about. We got transfer portal to worry about. We got changing defensive coordinators to worry about. If you just want to keep adding to the drama, buddy, then peace out. You're killing our mascots, Kendall. Killing them.
I don't
Killing them.
I don't think so, Travis. I don't. I mean, I want to agree with you on this one, but I don't know.
Maybe I can't blame him for the mascot dying, but I am getting tired of it.
No, it's like, see, and I kind of feel the same way about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Like, and Keith Carter kind of even said that. He's like, there's going to come a time where someone's going to offer him so much money we just can't afford to keep.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It seemed like he had already went to the piggy bank, and it seemed like Lane was just, I think he's making good money. He's happy at Ole Miss. Like, you either want to be here or you don't.
Yeah.
We gave you the salary. You want to, I get it. You're from Texas. You want to coach in Texas. Who do you want to coach next year? Do you want to coach Chandler Morris or KJ Jefferson?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I just, I got tired of it when Nutt was doing it under Sexton.
Yeah.
But at least with Nutt, there was 2 times he did it. He did it once with Nebraska, and he did it once with LSU before he finally left to go to Ole Miss.
Right.
And when he went to go to Ole Miss, that was pretty much, it was a done deal, right?
Yeah, it's like you can either resign and go to another school, or we can fire you. What?
Yeah. I mean, that was a done deal.
That's what it was. That was the save face, not getting fired. Now let me ask you something. Now with Briles. Okay, he got the money. He's making 1.3 as an offensive coordinator in the SEC. I don't know if TCU is going to be able to pay him that much more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But I mean, when you're that point, 1.3 versus 1.3.5, we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that it's $100,000 or $50,000, but I get it. But here's the thing: Sonny Dykes what's Sonny Dykes' age?
I'm not sure.
He's got to be pushing 60s.
Yeah.
Late 50s, 60s. Sam Pittman turning 60, I believe.
Yeah.
Neither one of them.
Sam Pittman says this is going to be his last job.
This is going to be his last job. But you got to see, Kendal Briles has got to be thinking, because he hasn't really left for a smaller school. And you got to think at some point, one of those smaller schools he probably had a shot at.
Yeah.
You think he may be waiting, not maybe so much for the money, but for like a head coaching waiting situation. Like maybe TCU might be able to like come here and maybe in a year we can make you head coach waiting if you have another good year. I'm speculating. I have no insider information. I have an idea that just popped in my head. I don't want to run it past my good buddy, Travis.
Yeah, it could be, and I mean, it could be, and possibly too. I mean, he did, he spent a long time in Texas and all those things. But look, one if you're always looking to see if the grass is greener somewhere else, man. I mean, you're not staying connected where you're at. You got to be 100% where you're at. I mean, that's you got to, be where you're at, be where your feet are. And his feet right now are in Fayetteville. And if he's always looking over the shoulder, and if it's Jimmy Sexton just doing this, well, shut Jimmy Sexton up. Tell him to be quiet and leave him alone, because it's not. There's a lot of fans that feel the same way I do. There's a lot of people on message boards that are saying, "Then go. We're tired of it. Go." If you're wanting something different, then go, buddy. If you think Mississippi State's better for you, and you want to go that deep into interviewing with them, you think South Carolina's better for you? If you think it's better than Fayetteville, then get out of here. We'll get someone that thinks Fayetteville's better. Because you're not producing on the field that much that we got to say, "Oh, please stay, buddy. Please stay." I want him to stay, okay? I'm not on him like a lot of people are.
No.
I'm softer on him than most people are as far as an offensive coordinator. I was harder on Odom than I was on him, okay?
Yeah.
But this kind of stuff just irks me. Either you want to be a hog,
it's grinding your gears.
Either you want to be with us or you don't.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think, yeah. I mean, you make a lot. You make some very valid points that are hard to argue with. You got to wonder: is it him talking to them, or is it people floating it?
Yeah.
But
Clint,
But
He
if people
can
are
quiet it.
yeah, you quiet it real quick.
He can quiet it very quick if he wants to.
Right.
Now I know his agent's probably telling him, "Don't you dare quiet it." Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry, you don't have to listen to your agent. Your agent works for you, not you for them. Okay, and so yeah, they advise you, but you gotta understand what's best for you and for your situation. And 3 times in 1 year, 3 times, Clint. We're January 17th. The portal just closed. Transfer students just signed in and started taking classes today. And we're worried about our offensive coordinator leaving. And with that, you're worried about the possibility of your quarterback going with him? Really? You care about Razorbacks and you want to put that on the program so you can get a raise? Come on. You know, I mean, either come out and say something or leave. One of the two. Either come out and say something or quit putting us through this crap and leave. That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm just getting a little butt hurt. Maybe my Propel water didn't have enough kiwi in it to make me happy. I don't know. But something happened. But
You're very
upset.
spicy.
I'm spicy.
All these flavors, and you choose to be so salty.
That's right. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about
yeah, I know, man. You brought it down, man.
Hey, and while we're at it, let's talk about Razorback basketball team with the worst start since someone named Mike Anderson was coaching.
You know, we originally you want to give them the excuse. You want to give them the excuse like, okay, you lost the number 1 overall recruit in the country, Nick Smith. He's been out. You lost a potential first round draft pick in Brazil.
Yeah.
Would you say this team without them 2 guys is more talented than any team Mike Anderson had?
Oh, yeah.
You've got 2 5-stars. You've actually got 3 if you count Jalen Graham. And Jalen Graham's hardly playing.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like, oh, he needs to play Pinion more, The product he's putting out there isn't working, and you should have this figured out more by now. Last year, okay, you saw glimpses and they got off to a rough start. But you got to go to overseas, got to go to Italy, Spain. You had a jump start. You should be ahead, not behind where you were, especially with the talent he has.
Well, and like last week, one of the things we asked, that I asked Kamani was, I said, even with those 2 guys out, with Nick Smith out, with Brazil out, this team is still more talented than the 2 Elite 8 teams. And Kamani agreed with us. And I believe that, okay? And I believe exactly what Kamani said. They got to trust us, and they got to trust the process, okay? Now, the little difference in the process this time is they're really struggling with consistency in shooting. Okay, that's really something we haven't seen in the last couple years. However, this team can shoot. This team can score. I think there's still some shooting and scoring in this team that we haven't seen yet. Okay, I think Walsh, for one, can score more than what we've seen. I think, like you said, Graham can put more points up than what we've seen. But there's something else that, and this is where folks like Kamani and others, and just the players individually, is we need to see some maturity from these guys. And we're not seeing that on the court, Clint. In that Vanderbilt game, I know you didn't get to watch much of it. Anthony Black is showing he's a wonderful player. And he's a wonderful player to watch. But he's showing some immaturity. Now, this is just Travis, okay?
Yes, sir.
This is Travis. This is Bigger T guessing. But I think it's a somewhat educated guess. I think other teams, especially SEC teams, are picking at Anthony Black. If you notice, he gets hit in the face a lot. He has those braces. You remember the LSU, the video came out, the LSU player slapping him on the face as he went by him? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that video, yes.
Okay. I think, in that Vanderbilt game, guys were going up for rebounds and they were putting their hands in his face. When he was driving in, their hands were about face level every time. I think teams are going after his face. And I think he's going back at them by talking trash at them. And I think he's getting caught up in the trash talk. And I think that's taking him out of his game. And I think he needs to get past that. Now, I'm not okay in what they're doing to him.
No.
If they're doing what I think they're doing. They may not be. But that's just me kind of watching from TV, okay? I'm not there at the games. I don't see it, but I think there's enough highlights. And if you watch when he drives in to gets fouled, there's always a hand or an arm near his face. And there's a lot of times where he's getting hit in his face, man. And I think those guys are trying to bust his lip because he's got those braces, those metal braces in his mouth. What do you think? You think I'm crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I mean, I'm worried about this team not being able to get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's because you're the majority of your team, the heart and soul of your team's underclassmen. They're freshmen. Most of them said the best value was in high school recruiting, and that's why he got 3 McDonald's All-Americans. There's like Anthony Black's had a phenomenal year, but he's also shown freshman ignorance. Jordan Walsh, for example, he just hasn't. He hasn't shot. He hasn't looked like what we thought coming in.
Yeah,
but you got to think it's either it's gonna click. You hope, but they're still young, and that's what we all said about this team. There's gonna be moments where they're just gonna be frustrating to watch.
Yeah,
because so now these teams all have talent now. You're in the SEC. You're in conference play.
Yeah.
You're not just going to blow these teams away with pure athleticism.
Yeah.
And you're good like your Hofstras and UNC Asheville's and those guys, you're going to just out-athlete them.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do. You've got to play basketball better than these guys.
Yeah.
It's like I was talking to Mark Howard, guy that hooked us up with Coach Dave Jordan. And where he goes, it's called pitching, not throwing. And I said, as soon as I heard that come out of his mouth, I'm like, he has said that so many times.
Yeah.
This time, you've got to outplay these guys. You're not going to be able to outplay them. You're going to show that you're a better basketball player than the guy. There's 6 top ESPN top 150 recruits on that bench.
Yeah.
They're freshmen.
Yeah.
There's 6 of them. There's 6. You've got to do better than what they're doing, and hopefully they get there. I can't imagine anyone in that locker room's having fun right now. It's probably not a fun place to be.
Well, sometimes all it takes is for just something to turn it. something just to turn it around, something just to click with them. And that's what we got to hope for, that something will click, something will turn them, and we'll see some great basketball from them. And, you know, we've seen, you know, they are entertaining to watch, and you know, they're playing hard. They really are. You can't say they're not giving effort. You can't say that they're not, you know, playing hard and striving for greatness. I think they're going to keep doing that, but this is where we as fans, you know, we can stay behind them, you know, and be with them, you know. And hey, man, hey, speaking of, you know, we didn't say it on our Holy Shnikes, but how about the Darius Miles from Alabama?
Oh boy, yeah, I guess it could be worse.
He admitted to providing the gun.
Yeah,
the guy killed a girl with, and they were saying on Drive Time, and this is so I don't want to say anything that, you know, I mean, this is just what Rick Schaefer was saying. He had read that that the guy shot her because the girl wouldn't talk to him or something.
it just,
Yikes.
yeah, it's not a reason to kill it. I mean, there's not a reason to kill anybody unless they're coming.
Sad situation.
It is just,
and it's sad for a kid with that much ability to, you know, throw it down the drain for something like that.
You know, speaking
on the good side of Holy Shnikes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Well, I was going to go back to the playoffs, but you go ahead.
Well, Lady Razorbacks.
Oh wow, that was that, and I've watched it. The entire sequence was what, 10 seconds with no timeouts.
Yeah,
and just two ridiculous shots.
You hadn't seen it, Lady Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was down by 3. They run down, throw up about a 28-footer or something like that.
Yeah, it was from well out
off the backboard, goes in. Just a few seconds left. Arkansas has no timeouts. The game is tied. Daniels for Arkansas comes back down the other end, throws up about a 30-something footer, goes off the glass, scores, win by 3 at the buzzer.
Now hers was closer to half court. It really was.
Yeah, it was over 30 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the deeper of the two shots, but it was unbelievable play.
Yeah.
Now, did you watch any NFL this weekend?
Just a little bits and pieces here and there, nothing.
You know, I watch probably more than I normally do. I know we don't talk a lot of NFL on here, but I was watching. There's one game that really struck me because I was watching the quarterbacks in the game. Because I think anymore we're just an instant gratification society.
Yeah,
we want to be gratified instantly. So they draft these kids. And they're kids. They're 22, 23 years old. Somebody's going to draft Stetson Bennett, and he's 48 years old.
Yeah.
Basically be the oldest quarterback in the NFL. He's older than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I don't know if that math checks out, but anyway, I'm watching the San Francisco game. San Francisco plays Seattle.
Yeah.
And here it is, Brock Purdy, literally the last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You would almost rather not get drafted than Mr. Irrelevant, because then you're locked into one team. You can kind of pick and choose who you sign. Your agent go, well, you know, I don't know if you're, you know, and so he goes in, and he's not even a situation where like Tom Brady, where Tom Brady gets hurt, or not Tom Brady, where Drew Brees gets hurt and then Tom Brady just takes over. Like, you know, Tom Brady apparently had to win the number 2 job in camp, but that's neither here nor there. But now you got this guy, Trey Lance gets hurt. They traded the farm to get Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance gets hurt. And, okay, so they got Jimmy Garoppolo, who'd been the starter forever. Garoppolo gets hurt, and everybody's like, you know, they should trade for this guy, or, you know, they were suggesting all these trades. They should just Baker Mayfield, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, no, they went with Brock Purdy, and I don't see how he's not the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers next year. Just, man, because the guy's balling out. He is just balling. I mean, he is. They're not winning because in spite of him, and he's not game managing. He is beating other teams. But on the other coin, you had Geno Smith, who got drafted like at the beginning of the second round by the Jets, toiled around. Man, he was balling out, and I know how good San Francisco's defense is. I mean, San Francisco has got probably the best defense in the NFL, and seeing how good he's become.
Yeah,
because he was in the same boat as kind of at the beginning of the year. We're like, they don't want, okay, Seattle's not really going to stick with Geno Smith. They're going to sign Baker Mayfield. Maybe they'll sign Matt Ryan. They're definitely not going to. Then they're like, no, we're good with Geno Smith. He's a Pro Bowl guy.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a fun story to watch. I mean, then I watched then the game later on was Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence, who are 2 number 1 overall picks. Like, they're supposed to be there. Like, these 2 guys are supposed to be here.
That San Francisco team, man, has just got talent. The thing is with San Francisco, they got talent up and down that roster. Like, they got talented guys at every position. And so that's why it doesn't matter who you plug in at that quarterback. First of all, you got Shanahan, who's a good coach, who doesn't just run a system. He runs whatever's going to help his quarterback do well. Yeah. And they have great running backs. They have great receivers. Not great, but they have, really good receivers. They have, they just have a good team. And so, yeah, you're right. Those were some great stories. Brock Purdy and all those quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, going to Waffle House after he wins.
Man, I tell you what, if you're not a Trevor Lawrence fan now, you can't be.
That's right. Makes a big comeback win, then goes to Waffle House and all that. So it's yeah, man, it's NFL is exciting right now, and we'll see what happens with the playoffs as they continue.
Yeah. Now the thing is, I watched a couple of them games on Peacock.
Yeah.
On the Peacock app.
Yeah.
Now Peacock's on and NBC are the one and the same.
Yeah.
I kept seeing a commercial.
Okay.
Over and over. They're remaking Night Court. Like, they're rebooting Night Court. Now, me and you have been best friends since 6th grade. We go that far back. Since 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly your favorite show was
Night Court.
Night Court. Like, your favorite show has been Night Court as long as Wesley Rollins had facial hair.
That's right.
I love until now. But tell me your thoughts on this reboot, this remake of Night Court.
I loved Harry and Bull and Dan and Christine, Christine especially. But the whole cast, okay. For some reason, I love that show. I don't know why, but I thought it was just a wonderful show. And it was on NBC, so I got NBC so I could watch it. So it was one that I could watch it on a regular basis since I didn't have cable. But you had said something about this, okay? So I went and just looked up a preview. That's all I've done. That's all I've looked up on it, okay? And from the preview, I learned they're not remaking it. It is the judge is Harry's daughter, the original judge's daughter, and they're bringing Dan back, Dan Fielding, the sleazy defense attorney. They're bringing him back, okay, and then they have just some other characters kind of playing the rest of the characters or whatever, I guess. So they're kind of doing it, I guess, sort of like in the mold of Cobra Kai or something like that. There is a continuation of it. So here's my thinking. It's going to be hard to carry it with just who's the guy that played Dan?
John Larroquette.
John Larroquette. He's a great actor. He was great. He did some other sitcoms after that, but never was able to carry them like that. And he, to me, the guy that played Harry, I forget his name, but they played off each other so well that, and Harry sort of was the Andy Griffith of the bunch, right?
Yeah.
I'm digging deep for this, okay? So I'm not, this is a big part of my heart. So to me, whoever's playing his daughter, she better be very good for this to make it. And I don't think it's going to make it.
No, I know, and
I don't think you catch that fire.
I don't think it's gonna. It's how often can you reach back to the original? And I looked it up on IMDb today because I was like, we had this conversation. And I was like, man, I wanted to kind of look it up. And it seems like they've only made 5 episodes. So I don't think they have high hopes for it either.
Has it started streaming yet at all?
No, I think it's premiering soon.
Okay.
But it's one of the deals like, okay, they could go back and they could bring, how often you can bring the old guys back because they come back. It's like, dadgum, John Larroquette is 75 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I mean, like he said, he looks phenomenal for 75.
Yeah.
He really does.
And I'm sure he's funny in it. I bet he'll be the best part.
Yeah.
I'll watch some of it just to see how he does, just because his character was so funny. He was so sleazy. But the thing was, like with Cobra Kai, they brought back the main guys, like the ones that were alive. They brought them back. They brought back Daniel. They brought back, what's his name?
Johnny Williams.
They brought back everybody they could, and then added some new people you grew to like with them into it. That's what made that work. Okay. Along with just some incredible writing.
Right.
You don't get that incredible writing on every show. There's a reason the Saved by the Bell reboot didn't work.
Because, if you talk to Ralph Macchio, he said, man, I got approached by so many spinoffs.
Yeah.
So many this, so many that, that they want to do. This was the only one.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai was the only one worth it. And when I messaged you, like, okay, we should do things that run our childhood segment.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, man. Because I suggested it, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Things. Like, no, let's not put a list on it. But there's been plenty of things that have happened that we've experienced. It just takes a great memory from your childhood and just takes it out back and just destroys it.
The Transformer movies.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me. I love the Transformers. I love the Transformers cartoons. I love the Transformer cartoon movies from back in the day. I still have those on DVD. But when they, I was so excited when Michael Bay was making, I was like, okay, Shia LaBeouf, whatever. Shia LaBeouf's character, I like Shia LaBeouf. I like him in a lot of movies he does. Peanut Butter Falcon's one of my favorite movies. Honey Boy, I thought was a really good movie with Shia LaBeouf. I loved him, and I think Shia LaBeouf's good, but his character in those Transformer movies is so annoying it takes away from the whole movie. I think the human character, the human boy character in the Transformer movies, was always secondary to the huge robot Transformers. Okay, and that's not what they did when they did those movies. They tried to make it around. They tried to make it around the human stuff, and that, to me, it ruined it. Now and then, some of my favorite toys, they didn't even have them. They brought in some of the newer ones and stuff like that. Like now, and some of the later ones, they've thrown in some stuff. They brought in Starscream. They brought in Soundwave, stuff like that, but he's different. Anyway.
Well, you can't really have a walking boombox now. I mean, what would you have? You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
yeah.
There's not, everybody listens to music on their phone now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what you can have him has like some of the little like the
set tapes
beats, so like have him with some beats.
Yeah.
Like the AirPods.
Little earpods that
like it's just you have little AirPods in your pocket, you pull them out. Is
my favorite. Shockwave had those little tapes.
Yeah,
and then he would throw them out. One of them was like a bird, and then one of them was a panther, and they've had those in some of them, but they didn't really connect them, right? But then my favorite was, you remember Rumble?
I don't remember Rumble.
Rumble was just a little one that he'd throw out there, and he would go down there and start like earthquakes. He had like little arms that were just flat deals. He'd be like, Rumble, and he'd just like start earthquakes or whatever.
Yeah,
and I can see him being like an AirPod. He just throw out there.
Something else that ruined my childhood?
What's that?
The movie Showgirls. Ruined.
Yeah.
Because you can't go back and see Jessica Spano as Jessica Spano after seeing the movie show. It's ruined it. You watch the reruns, you're like, it's a girl from Showgirls. Like, it just.
Well, I've told you before, I had a friend in college that he had a theory to the whole cause of the downfall of all those characters.
Well, do tell.
Okay. This is straight from my buddy Steve Davis.
Okay. Reliable source.
Steve's a good guy, and Steve and I were both big Saved by the Bell fans, but we were also big we were big Days of Our Lives fans. Okay. And big wrestling fans. So like we would get together to watch Saved by the Bell, wrestling, and Days of Our Lives in my room. Okay. And so we're watching Days of Our Lives. So there was this guy, Austin, on Days of Our Lives. He was always a good guy.
Right.
Well, Steve hated him for some reason. And I thought, why do you hate this guy? I mean, he's a good guy. Like, he's always been a good guy. He said, don't you know, he used to be on Saved by the Bell. I said, yeah, he played, he came in as the manager of the Max for a while. He said, yeah. He said, he's the one who broke up Kelly and Zach. I said, oh, you're right. I said, so you're mad at him on Days of Our Lives about that? He said, heck yeah, I am.
Hey.
He said, because of him, Kelly becomes a floozy on 90210.
She did.
Dixie becomes a stripper on Showgirls. Lisa's a stripper on Independence Day. She's standing on the roof or whatever. That girl, I think on that one, the other stripper on that one is a girl from the college years, by the way.
Oh, wow.
On that. Okay, deep dive. Then Zach played a rapist in some made-for-TV movie. Okay. Screech, we all know his wife went really weird and he ended up dying at an early age. Just a sad thing. Okay. All that stuff happened all because Austin broke up Zach and Kelly.
Woo. You know what? It checks out.
It does.
It checks out.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
just a few things that ruined her childhood.
Yes, yeah.
Michael Bay, this crappy remake of Night Court.
That's right.
Movie Showgirls, and Austin from Days of Our Lives.
That's right.
Austin from Days of Our Lives.
Well, folks, look, sorry I was cantankerous tonight. I was very spicy. I don't know, I was just cantankerous.
Yeah, we'll call this Spicy Tea episode.
Spicy Tea episode right here. I was a little fired up, but thanks for listening. As always, thanks for listening and watching. Like and share. Don't forget our friends at Hometown Roofing. Don't forget to like us, give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Rate us on everything else you can rate us on. Follow us on social media, all that good stuff. We love hearing back from you. We still got some t-shirts for sale if you want a t-shirt, all that good stuff. Clint, you got anything you want to say?
Bye, everybody.
See y'all. Be good.
Or be good at it.
Or be good at it. And y'all have a great week. And God bless.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Sun beating down so hard, I can barely breathe. Hard to sing a joyful song, the words got me on my knees. Then the gentle breeze blows by, pick me up right on time. Listen,